Oh, hi, I'm Mike Breen, and I want to welcome you to Common Sense Wars video blog, Did You Know? We focus on identifying the things that the Obama regime is doing that are, in effect, assaults on good old American common sense. Today, we want to talk about how illogical it is for a government to impose incredible burdens of debt on the American people during a time of economic uncertainty. It just doesn't really make any common sense at all. The headline today is that as a result of the Obama regime's actions, we are being burdened, each one of us, each household, with an additional $80,000 in debt that will have to be picked up by our children and grandchildren. It really doesn't make any sense at all. The Obama administration submitted a budget, and what they did was they admitted that this budget over the next 10 years was going to result in $7.2 trillion, that's with a T, dollars in deficit. Now, the Congressional Budget Office, typically called the CBO, reviewed the numbers of the administration and challenged them. They said, whoa, wait a minute, this isn't really right. Your number of 7.2 clearly underestimates the cost to every American in this country. In fact, the CBO says it's not $7.2 trillion, it's $9.5 trillion that will result from the economic policies of this administration. That's the $80,000 that is going to be put on the head of our children and grandchildren. We need to bring this to a stop, and we need to make that happen as soon as possible. Well, how can this be? I mean, don't people know how to put together accounting sheets? How can there be such a wide gap? Well, as the CBO pointed out, the administration, in the submission of its budget, made some assumptions, some incredible assumptions, about the growth of the economy, which would necessarily yield additional revenues to the government. I haven't seen any growth. In fact, just recently, 2-3 days ago, the Fed indicated they are downgrading the estimate of our economy's growth, which would probably make the numbers I just showed you even more dramatic in the differences between the two. But also, they had included, the Obama regime had included $650 billion in savings that were going to be coming out of the transportation industry and other industries, which in fact afterwards they had never even submitted. It's ghostly, it's magic numbers, and Obama should be called on it. The big problem here is that when you look at the debt as a percent of our gross domestic product, it's currently 40%. Actually, it was 40% just before the recession. Following Obama's plan, in 10 years, it'll go up to 101%. Can you just imagine? Every dollar earned in the United States would have to go to pay down the debt. That's not a formula for success as far as I'm concerned. And I believe that most of Americans would say, what the hell's wrong with this organization in Washington called the Obama regime? Can't they apply even simple common sense to planning how you get out of a difficult financial situation? We've all heard the term, when you're in a hole, stop digging. But unfortunately, these guys seem to be bringing in bigger shovels. We have to be bold, we have to be loud, we have to be consistent in challenging this regime. Call your senators, call your congressmen, implore them to use simple American common sense in evaluating everything this administration puts forth. Get out there, do it now, and keep doing it until the elections of 2012. Remember, you control what the future of America will be. This is Mike Breen saying that we have to stay vigilant and pursue our representatives in Washington almost on a daily basis to convince them to change the way things are going. Remember what I showed you. $9.5 trillion deficit. 101% of our gross domestic product is going to be going to the national debt. I ask you two simple questions. Is this the formula for getting out of our economic downturn? And if we applied good old American common sense, would anybody vote to follow this path? I thank you and encourage you to subscribe to this blog. Until next time, good night, and remember the Constitution.